This video is made possible by Corvette Mike Midwest. Corvette Mike Midwest is your one-stop shop for amazing, timeless classic vehicles. If you are looking to buy a classic or sell your classic vehicle, please contact Corvette Mike Midwest with the information up on the screen or linked in the description below.
Alright, what's up guys? My name is Zach and today I'm driving a 1964 Pontiac GTO Tribute. Up front is a 6.5 liter V8, and down below is a 4-speed manual transmission. Now, a few things to talk about with the GTO before we get going here. First of all, this is a tribute car. So, back in 1964, the GTO was actually just a trim level of the Pontiac Le Mans and Tempest. It wasn't actually its own full car until 1966. So, this was a Pontiac Le Mans that has been given the GTO treatment after it left the assembly line. It has the correct engine, it has all the correct parts to make it into a GTO, but this is not an original GTO. However, that doesn't really matter. Let's get back to that 6.5 liter V8. I'll put the horsepower and torque numbers up on the screen. It doesn't make a whole lot by modern standards, but this car really kicked off the muscle car era back in the early 60s. This was really the first one to do it. The whole idea was to take a big engine like this 6.5 liter and shove it into a mid-size car. Now, right off the bat, I've been driving a couple classic cars from Corvette Mike Midwest, and I have to say that this is the most comfortable and most fun to drive. Now, I know that I always wear my signature gray t-shirt with my RX-7 on the front, but it's a little chilly today, but I wasn't going to not drive the GTO convertible with the top down, so a compromise had to be met. This car is so fun to drive. All right, second gear here. Woo! It's not going to rip your face off, but then again, this car is almost 60 years old. It's so fun to drive, and it has that muscle car grit. That's sort of just this almost like there's a beast under the hood, which there kind of is. The 6.5 liter is not a small engine. Like I said, paired to it is a 4-speed manual transmission. Now, the GTO was offered with a 3-speed as well. However, this is a Muncie 4-speed that has been added to it. This car was actually restored in 2006, a full frame-off restoration, and the 4-speed was added then. Shifting feel is fine. It is kind of a long throw, and the pedal travel is quite extensive as well. Let's race the cement truck. But again, to be expected from a car this size. Last but not least, of course, the GTO convertible is rear-wheel drive. That shouldn't have even been questioned. Let's talk about the interior. We have a couple interesting things to mention in here. Well, on the far left, I have my oil pressure and battery voltage. Then I have my speedometer. And on the right, I have my fuel gauge, temperature, and my tachometer. On the steering wheel, it does say Pontiac, but that's it. That's all I get on the steering wheel. To the left of me, I actually have a couple of knobs for the headlights, as well as the power top. So this does have power top operations, which for 1964 is, well, astonishing. But then all the way to the upper left, this is actually where you'll find the ignition. This is where you put the key and turn it on, which is very interesting and contrary to modern vehicles. On the door, I just have a handle and the window crank. That's it. And in the center, I get very rudimentary climate controls, a Pontiac radio, which I absolutely love the look of, and then some added aftermarket gauges. These are not original from the factory, but they help me figure things out. I do have a GTO badge up on the dash, which I really, really like. And I don't really get any center console. Of course, it's a floor-mounted shifter, but I don't get anything in between the seats.
Of course, with that being said, the GTO fails the big friggin' bottle test on the basis that there are no cup holders.
However, speaking of the seats, they are very comfortable, very plush. You sink right into them, and they only have lap belts. Again, par for the course for the 1960s. But if you want to really add horsepower to your GTO, you might want to consider some shoulder restraints. However, this is a convertible that has a back seat, so let's go do a back seat review. All right, getting in the back of the 64 GTO, first year GTO. All right, so back seat space, not great. However, I don't get any seat belts. I have crank windows here, which is cool. I can do that. And of course, it's the 60s. I have ashtrays. But not great on legroom, but again, it's a convertible. And the seats themselves, the materials, the shape is very, very comfortable. If I was a little bit shorter, I'm 5'11", I'd be very comfortable back here. However, of course, I do unfortunately have kneecaps, so it's not the best thing in the world. But let's hop around back. Let's look at the trunk real quick. All right, so we're on the back of the 64 GTO Tribute convertible. First of all, this is where you'll find your gas cap. Now, the 50s and 60s really emphasized hiding the gas cap. Of course, it makes the car look, I mean, just beautiful without a gas cap, but it is kind of funny that you do have to open it from the rear. Now, let's talk about the trunk. And wow, I mean, the car is huge, first of all, so of course it has a huge trunk, but this is my spare tire. I mean, it doesn't get much bigger than this, ladies and gentlemen. On a coupe, I mean, this is like, let me put it this way. If a football team were to get from here to the other side of the trunk, it would be a first down. That's all I'm saying. Really, really crazy size. You could fit the world back here, and I love that about these older cars. Now we got to talk about the looks, and I mean, guys, it's a GTO. I mean, like, it looks amazing. It has that very just nostalgic muscle car look. And the interesting thing is that the headlights in the front are actually horizontal. This is the only year of the GTO that got horizontal headlights. They actually switched it to the vertical ones in 1965. So at the next car show you attend and you see a GTO with horizontal headlights, you know it's a 64. Now, the later years were a little bit more iconic, but this is the Genesis. This is the first one. And really, that's my final thoughts on it, is that this was the car that kicked off the muscle car craze. After this came the Challenger and the Charger and the Camaro, and everyone and their mom was trying to create a muscle car to compete. We saw huge V8s, 3-speed manuals, 4-barrel carburetors, all started because of this car. This was the first one to do it, even before the Mustang. And so this is really chapter 1 of a book that's kind of still being written by Hellcats today. Granted, less, and with, you know, the fuel economy and things like that, muscle cars did really suffer in the 1970s with the oil crisis. But that's a different chapter. This is chapter 1. This is the introduction. Woo! There is a replacement for displacement, but I don't know if it's as fun as this. 6.5 liters, man. This is when Pontiac was cool. And also another little fun fact, this car was the brainchild of a John DeLorean. Yes, that DeLorean who came out with the stainless steel car in the 80s. This was actually his brainchild. So if you want to thank someone for the GTO, thank John DeLorean. But I want to give a huge thanks to Corvette Mike Midwest for letting me take out their GTO. This is on sale right now. It is very reasonably priced. And so please go check them out. Their information is up on the screen as well as linked in the description below. They have tons of cool, awesome classic cars. You guys have been seeing me drive them here on the channel, and I'm so excited to share more and more of them with you. So please go check them out. Give them your business. If you're looking to sell your classic car, they also buy classic cars and are always looking for new inventory. So please reach out to them. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, subscribe if you really liked it. And I'm just gonna send you out with some good GTO convertible loving because it's just fun.